What's going on, guys? Coach Gaglione here. It's another edition of the Powerlifting with PL podcast. We got Haley and Brian on the line. How you doing?
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
So it's always fun. We got a duo here, so we'll kind of go back and forth, and then we'll try to direct questions best we can. But if you guys just want to introduce yourselves, who you are and what you got going on right now.
I'm Haley May, his
Oh,
wife.
I thought you were going to point to me, but go ahead. Go ahead.
We own a gym called the Bar Gym in Milton, Florida. We both compete. I'm not retired from powerlifting. A lot of people assume that I'm retired. I'm just taking a break. But started off as powerlifting, doing some bodybuilding now.
Yep.
And then Brian, go ahead.
Well, I'm Brian May. I've owned the bar gym now for over about 10 years. A little background from me. We're down in Milton, Florida. I used to work in the Gulf of Mexico as an underwater welder prior to owning the gym, and kind of evolved from there. And I've been competing since years mixed together after time, man. You know what I mean? You're like, when the heck did I really start? And I think I started back in 2015. I can't remember. It's like around that era there.
Years.
10 plus years, I would think. Yeah. Because I was competing prior to me owning the gym.
Somebody will fact check us and open powerlifting.
Well, that probably like, wait a minute. Yeah, it's okay. But that's fine because I really don't remember everything because being a business owner, your days blend together and you like look back and like, what the hell?
Yeah, so let me ask you, Brian, in terms of was it always kind of like on your radar that you were into fitness, you always wanted to own a gym, or how did you kind of stumble into
how I started this whole process. Okay, so I moved to Florida, and I can't remember the date. I moved over there, got really into lifting again. I was always a competitive person, man. I was a huge wrestler, man. That was a sport. I love that sport. I've always been competitive, but I had to put a lot of backseat in my career for diving because when you're working some days when I could be out there for 2 to 3 months, or I could be home for a day or two. It was all over the place. So getting back to like how it started was I finally got a good gig offshore. I got a schedule. In diving, it's unheard of to have that. I had a 14 and 14 schedule. And for the first 2 years of doing that job, I started looking, I'm like, how can I improve? How can I go up? I want to work up. And the guys that have been out there, all the supervisors have been out in that field, have been there since 1980. There's no up for me. I was a lead diver. It's like the supervisor, lead diver, and you have your divers underneath you. I wasn't going to supervisor unless they die or retire. And none of those guys are doing it. So I started thinking, I'm 46 now. I don't want to do this the rest of my life. I don't want to be down there. I don't want to put my suit on all the time. And I didn't want to keep, and I don't want to switch off the job that I had because it's good. It's a good schedule. It's unheard of. I'd be gone months on end prior to that. So I started thinking, like, what is it that's going to have me retire? Do you get what I mean? Like, what was I was thinking, like, okay, what's the thing that I'm going to be able to do to retire to still make money? Back that all up. I was going to this gym, the bar gym, prior to me owning it. So technically, the bar gym is 14 years old to the old owner that was there. And I love the gym. I found it. I got kicked out a lot of most of the commercial gyms around the area for intensity. You know how that gets. People don't know how to deal with that. And I was younger then, so I had a lot more like.
I have a really funny story once you're.
Tell the story when you get done. So I got kicked out there, and I was training with I always like training with older guys because they have a lot of knowledge to their, and I got kicked out. I said, "Hey guys, where can I go to train?" They said, "There's a gym called the Bar Gym. It's in Milton." And I was like, "All right." So I took a drive up there. It's about 45 minutes from my house because I live by the beaches in Navarre. And then from there, I was like, "Fuck yeah, this is it." It was like graffiti on the walls. It was you can do stuff. Does that make sense?
No, well, I think so. A quick aside, because I think when you said you were kicked out of the commercial gym, I'm kind of laughing. So, I can go a bunch of different directions. Anyway, so when I kind of really started getting more serious with powerlifting, this is probably like I started competing in 2006. A couple years into it, I was like looking for more like serious training partners, training environments, whatever. Um, and I was starting to coach others at the time, but I was getting more serious myself. And I was like, I need some training partners, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, some of the guys I was working out with, they kind of like went off to other things, or they were bodybuilding or fitness training, whatever.
Correct.
So there's a gym in Long Island. It was just a world gym, just like chain, right? But in the corner, I see that there's like an Elite FTS monolift, right?
Right.
You're like,
So
what is
kind of like
that?
piquing my interest. So I'm like, and so I'd never seen one in a commercial gym, and I was just like, okay, this is interesting.
Yeah,
I
true.
see these guys like squatting with like bands and like all
Yeah.
this stuff, and I'm just
What
like
is-
kind of watching and whatever, and then I see and I don't remember what the conversation was, but they were starting to, then they finished their workout and then they're doing pull throughs, and I was like, hey, I'm like, do you know follow West Side Barbell? Oh, I have the VHS
Yeah.
tape, so I get whatever, I get
Yeah.
powerlifting say. Um, so they're like, why don't you come train with us? So a couple of guys. So that was like kind of our original kind of crew. Actually, one of the guys, I don't know if they're like, I know, like, anyways, there's a guy, I think he moved down to Florida now, one of those my old training partners. But anyways, so fast forward, the gym starts getting really popular. There was like a crew of powerlifters, there's a crew of strongman. We had like a nice little culture there. And if you guys may know the name, a lot of people know the name Scott Mendelson,
Yep.
one of the best benchers of all time. He had
Right.
the all-time raw record, over
He's amazing.
700 pounds raw, over 1,000 pounds in a shirt. And so his sister, Shauna, like still lives in Long Island to this day. She's got a gym,
Okay. Yeah.
blue collar barbell. Anyway, so she was running
Okay.
some.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that's played.
She
Yeah.
was running a meet, like basically like a backyard meet. It was like in the parking lot, and so I guess she like let or whoever. I don't want to blame her or whatever because I'll get yelled at. But
Yeah.
a pole from like the meet like went over the other side of like the building and like went through like a car windshield or something.
Oh wow.
Oh, then all of a sudden like half the powerlifters got like kicked out or whatever, and like
Yeah.
it was just anyways. It's always the powerlifters doing some like dumb
Always, yeah,
crap.
there's always happenings.
And then
Yeah.
there was another guy, and then so this guy, his name was Glenn Russo. Glenn Russo had a 900-pound bench to his credit, but he didn't want to even bench 1,000. He was just trying to bench the world record. So he would just try 1,100 pounds and then just like almost kill himself like every time.
Yeah.
Anyways, this guy, he was doing these bands, and he had so much band tension, and he kept taking plates off the rack, and the rack, and then it went through the window.
Oh shit.
So
Yeah.
anyway, so it's like
Yeah.
anyway, so that's my getting kicked out of the commercial gym story.
Yeah.
But
We,
The
yeah.
two holes that have been put in our gym walls have also been from
Yeah.
powerlifting.
Most of the power.
Trust me, we get it.
Yeah. It's either a bar that goes through the wall or somebody
Because they're
gets
just
mad.
hanging it and they're flinging it. I'm like, what are you doing with
Yeah.
that thing, moving it like that?
well, that's why I would say if there's a way to screw it up, like people will find a way.
Oh
they'll
yeah,
find it, man.
absolutely.
Absolutely, they do.
That's great. So yeah, so you got the gym, and then I guess so like
Yeah, so like what
like
happened was I was there for a while and I just saw she got a divorce from her husband. And I saw the gym going away, man. And this I'm quite a few years deep at that one job I was in. And I just saw it going like it wasn't going the direction it was going. Like she started really taking her hand away. You could just see things just not the fire there that it was. And I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Like if this goes away, we have Gold's Gym, we have the YMCA, we have
Planet.
Planet. Where are the people that want to train? Anytime Fitness. Where are people going to train, and where am I going to train? And one day I just asked her. I was like, I saw her sitting there. I said, "Hey, you thinking of selling this gym?" And she said, "Yeah." I said, "All right, I'm interested." And I said, "How much are you thinking?" And she's like, 35,000. I said, "Sold. Let's do it." And then I started that. And
How big was that location?
maybe that quote me wrong on that one. I would think it was
So
maybe.
just curious,
Uh,
for people that are like listening, like, because I try to, so like,
yeah, anyway, yeah,
no, just so like, because I think sometimes people don't realize the capital that it takes to like start. And so you bought an existing space, so that was, and
yeah. So
but like,
it's
no, I'm just saying, so like, were you saving for it? Did you get like a loan,
this
or
is
how did that?
so this is all my savings that I put into diving. I was making good money back then. I was making very good money. I mean, dude, shit, man, I've been doing it for 15 years. I
Sure.
got seniority on things.
But I think some of the things that I've noticed in the powerlifting space, I mean, someone again, like, not to, these are just things that pop in my head, like
Yeah,
like Russ Swole had a gym closed down. You see, like, even like you see like these even meets, right? Meets come and go. The current U.S. Open, California Elite Training, all these things, and um, so I just think it's important. I think sometimes people, like you
yep.
said, we're talking about, I think off air, like it's still like important to like have your finances in order so you can actually enjoy this stuff, and
So
then
many people reach out to us and are like, "Hey, should I open a gym?" And I'm like, unless like this is what I tell them. I was like, we didn't do it on a loan. Like Brian literally used his 15
I
years.
never put out a loan for shit.
You know what I mean? Like so 15 years of working where a day's work, what you make 10 grand sometimes. You know
Yeah, if
what
I
I
was in it,
mean?
like if I was making hustling, like if we're making some good deep dives, shit, man, that paycheck clear up 15 grand, and that's with taxes taken out.
Yeah. So like I tell
Think
people
about
all the
that.
time that like if it wasn't for Brian's career, the gym would not be where it's
yeah,
at. You know what I mean? Because he bought the gym and the equipment for 35 grand, and
Correct.
then they did not upgrade a single fucking thing until I came in 3 years ago.
Correct.
So they literally had 7 years of constant saving, literally not taking any money from the business.
Because I
Like,
still worked offshore till COVID.
yeah.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that people like really
Because gyms are the second failing business. You have
oh well,
restaurants and then
Yeah.
gyms. You know what I mean? And unless like I always tell people that reach out, like they're like, hey, like I was thinking about getting a loan to open a gym, and I'm like,
it's a big
I
risk.
don't recommend it personally. I said you have to realize like more than likely the first 3 years of you opening a gym, you're gonna make zero money.
Yeah.
So if you can live, like if you have income where you can pay for the gym for 3 years and work, go ahead and do it. But like,
I
don't,
think.
you know what I mean?
Go ahead. Ask the
You did
question.
it. You're a gym
No,
owner.
no, I just want to highlight some things. 'Cause I think so. I think that like a lot of these young lifters, for example, they see these like influencer gyms or whatever, and it's like God knows, like,
Guys that have no clue what they're telling.
well, it's also like you don't know, like, is the gym actually making money? Like how far in debt they are? Like,
How many investors? You know
so
what I mean?
many there's so many like unknowns, right? But
Right.
and also like, and I think again sometimes again I want to kind of get into the culture of your guys' gym and stuff because I think
Exactly.
sometimes the kids they don't know what they don't know, but it's almost like they're so like nonchalant about like there's no respect
Yeah.
for the
Oh
space,
yeah.
right? So
Right.
I've always kept my brick and mortar facility small, just because to your point, like I never wanted to take out a loan or same thing. Just God forbid something happens. Now it's like I gotta it's like now you're kind of like in trouble, right? So I think it's important. So I actually I was in the teaching business for I taught special education and I was a wrestling coach for my first 6 years while I was, yeah. So the wrestling is like a common, you have like Andrew Herbert and all these guys. We got, so we always, I think, I don't, man, I don't know if you guys remember Rob Philippus. I don't know like what he's doing now. Anyways, it seems to be like a lot of times it's like the washed up meathead that needs something to
They
do.
need like me. We didn't finish competing. We need to
Yes.
compete. We have to fill the guys, especially wrestling, any sport. It all depends what sport you're in. It doesn't stop. Even I'm 46. I still have to compete. I have to be competing somehow, some way. It feels it without it. It's like something's missing.
So I want to kind of get into the contest for sure because that was kind of what sprung up this conversation. And if
Go
there's
ahead.
anything else that you guys want to touch on, but before we do that, I think that so you kind of we alluded to before, like this gym like meant something to you, like it was more than just like, oh, this is like this business I'm buying, right? Like you're like you're like this needs to stay open.
Yep.
And actually, oddly enough, I'm not going to talk about me. But it's kind of so actually. The last what is it, a couple of weeks ago I got an email. So I've been in the same building for my original location in New York for about 14 years.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
that's a long time.
The business the building sold
Oh, no.
December like 15th. They're like, you have 30 days to get out.
It's hard, man. Yeah.
Can you imagine? So anyways, I'm going up to New York like in a few days, and I found a new spot. I have a partner that's gonna, anyways, we figured it out. So
Good.
we're still gonna have a space. We're still gonna have meets in New York, but it was like a scary like thing. And like to your point, like I could have just sold my equipment and then wrote off, but it's like where are these people gonna go?
Exactly.
There's so much to my story. Yeah, 100%, man.
It's not just like a fit, you know what I mean? Like anyways, so like what is your
There's
thought?
so much to my story and how it all, like, I could go on for quite a while. I just want to hit some key notes of things that I think of people that would like to know. Some of it's have just be honest with you, is sheer ability to work my ass off.
Yeah.
And I was fortunate enough that I knew going into this, I needed somebody close to me that had my back, not the old the old owner's back, had my back. So I asked my mom. I said, "Hey, you're getting old there. She thought about retiring.
She was a nurse.
She was a nurse. I was like, hey, I really need you. I need you to come down here. I need you to help me." And she came down, and she, like, me and her, dude. The woman sold me on 250 members. After we cleaned up the system, 15 members were paying. It was a wreck.
Wow.
And if I would do it again, obviously I would do my due diligence a little bit more.
Right.
But it all fell into place like it's supposed to. We've moved a gym now. We're in 10,000 square feet. That was my our latest move. We're looking to obviously go bigger. We're actually out, like, honestly, I can't get another piece of equipment. We can go bigger. But where we live, we don't have industrialization yet. It's coming, but not quick enough.
Like, our competitors are literally Anytime Fitness and Planet Fitness.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Where New York, I'm sure you guys have a lot of gyms all over.
So that's why it's interesting. So that's where I think, like, sometimes in certain regions,
Yeah.
Even yeah, again, I always want to try to, like, not to throw shade at anyone, but anyways, I think probably, anyways, what I'm kind of alluding to is when I kind of started like lifting and stuff, like it was, especially in equipment and stuff, you needed like training partners, right?
Yeah.
And kind of like you figured it out, like you stuck it out, you stuck together, you were kind of like loyal to whatever your space was, whether it was like we had our little corner in World Gym, but eventually I opened up my own space. And I think sometimes when you have like too many options, you kind of like take it for granted if you have like, oh, I could just go here, or even some of these commercial gyms, sometimes like they might have nice equipment, and like we always, the kids, like, it's like, oh, I need my kilos, I need my Alico bar, I need, and that stuff's great to have. But I remember like my first couple of meets, I train on like crappy steel plates, a bar or whatever. Like I didn't have a monolith to train on. And but anyways, yeah, I think that like you guys have like a niche, market, and it seems
I stuck with the niche. I stuck with what was good. I stuck with what I envisioned, what I wanted to see in the gym. Like I said, I'm not doing anything different or from everybody else that's like that is out there that are doing it. But there's one thing that I would say for me would be the difference is that we don't compromise with shit, man. This is the way it is.
Yeah. So can you give me an example of like things that you really are like really strong values, or I don't know if maybe rule, like what are some like things that are like non-negotiables for you?
The culture really makes it everything to that gym. In the beginning was what you had in the beginning, that you had to bend a little bit on you needed members to make money. You get what I mean? And then you would have to like try to,
right.
You get what I'm saying? You let some things go that you shouldn't have let go.
But like now, like,
does that make sense?
Like our gym is not. It is a public gym, but the doors are locked 24/7. So you sneak anyone in, you hold that door open for anyone, your membership's canceled, you're not allowed back.
A $100 fee to it.
Like, that is just a huge non-negotiable, just because, I mean, I'm sure you probably have it. People sneak people in all the time. They think like, oh, it's not a big deal when it's like, this is literally our career. So you're taking food, you know what I mean?
Well, that's why I think that sometimes it's like not that I think people like really like underestimate like I said, the financial commitment, the risk, um what goes into the maintenance of the gym. I think sometimes people think if you're a business owner, you're just like kicking your feet up and raking in money and like
Oh, people think that all the time. They're like,
yeah.
oh, you guys are rich. Oh, you
Yeah.
bring in new equipment every time. I'm like, yeah, but like we just skipped a paycheck to give you guys a new piece of
or like
equipment.
yeah, like I didn't pay myself for the last 3 months because I wanted to get a new squat bar
Yeah.
For you guys, yeah.
or whatever, or like yeah, we
It,
got
it really like I let people know too, man, a little bit too on that. I'm not bashful with my words. You're being an asshole. I'm gonna tell you, like I don't let it go. Like I had an old guy bitch me out because I was getting too much new equipment, and I said I blasted him. I said, get the fuck out of my gym. Just go. Because you're not wanted here. Like you don't see the value. Like I'm sacrificing a lot of money where I could have been, hey, I could have been in a new boat.
You know what I mean?
But my members needed this to become stronger. So that's what we do.
Oh yeah, tell me. I want to hear a little bit more about the specifics of whether it's your own guys training or are there like certain like kind of groups of people that train together? Is there like a powerlifting section? What is
like when I first came 3 years ago, there was a lot of cliques in the gym, which was causing like a lot of drama. And so like whenever I came in, because I've managed gyms, I've built gyms for other, not like me built it itself, but I've been from like day one of groundbreaking with gyms. So like this is all I've ever done for my career has been in the fitness industry. And so like I asked Brian, I was like, okay, what is your vision for the gym? Because how it is right now is not the vision. And like I told him, I was like, unfortunately, some people are gonna have to go. I'll be the bad guy. They can hate me. You know what I mean? Like we were having fucking females fighting over a dude in the gym. We were like
An ex-con. Just ridiculous shit.
Yeah, it was just like high school shit. You know what I mean? And it was very toxic for the gym. And so
we just started
I basically just started cleaning house and a lot like we were getting a lot of negative feedback. But then after about like 2 months of that, when people realized why we were doing it and like the culture was better, like there wasn't fights in the gym, there wasn't creeps creeping on females, like it was people there that truly wanted to work out and reach whatever their fitness goals were. You know what I mean?
So do you guys like? I guess now, if someone new comes in, like how, do you like try to vet them a little bit? Do you give them a trial period, or like how does that like as far as if I wanted to come join your gym, like what is like the process like for that?
So normally, I mean, so I would call us like a huge destination gym, just because we have so many destination cities around us where like we have our core members, but then like we're an hour from Destin, we're an hour from the Alabama state line where like people live over there and they're like, hey, we love your gym because there's also only Anytime and Planet Fitness. So they'll come in on the weekends. But no, like there's no free trials. I mean, do a day pass.
You do a day pass.
For,
it always costs you something.
Normally, like just for me, I mean, I've been in the fitness industry probably 12 years now, selling gym memberships. I could tell almost instantly if I do not try to sell someone on a membership. And I straight up tell them, I'm like, hey,
grab some drink.
If you do not give a shit about top tier equipment, I said, you're probably going to feel like your money is not being spent well here. And I said, I don't want to deal with you in 2 months because we have to cancel your membership and you want a refund because you never showed up.
Right.
Like I've literally had that conversation with people and they're like, oh my God, you're not trying to sell me a membership? I'm like, no, like I want you to be happy here. And they're like, well, I'm going to sign up. I was like, that's great, but like, I'm not forcing you to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we like the way our gym is a lot of people think we're this hardcore powerlifting gym just because like Brian and I compete, but like 90% of our members are general fitness.
Right.
And like
you're never going to make it if it's just powerlifting.
Yeah. Like I just want whatever your fitness goal is, like, hey, just work hard on that. You know what I mean? Like don't be on the equipment, texting, don't be taking pictures of people. Like just come in, work out, be nice, pick your shit up, and get the fuck out. And that's literally how it is. Like, yeah.
You been to the questions?
Yeah, so what I wanted to kind of just circle back to Haley, if you can give a little intro and then of yourself, and then I want to kind of gloss over your powerlifting accomplishments, I guess. I think
Yeah,
that
hold on.
I don't know if it was a US Open or a different meet at California Elite, but I know I think that's when we like kind of met briefly.
Oh,
Uh
that would be the current US Open.
was
So
it?
I started, I'm 28 now. My first powerlifting meet was my 21st birthday. So I got into powerlifting. So I played college ice hockey. My junior year, I had a really bad injury that took me the fuck out. Like literally took me out. If you know anything about ice hockey, you're not allowed to cross check from behind. If you do, then your team gets disqualified from playoffs. And so we were at nationals when this injury happened. And so basically, like I'm a huge planner. Anyone who knows that, I am planned through 2035, like literally no joke. So I knew what I like was going to go to college, was going to play pro ice hockey, like that's what I was going to do. And so I didn't finish my senior year because I couldn't. And so I was like, well, what am I going to do with my life? And so I had started going to the gym twice a day, stopped going to college, stopped going to classes. My parents did not, no one knew that I had stopped going. I was just like, fuck this. Like, I was like, I'm not doing this. And so I'd go to the gym multiple times a day. Finally, the head trainer was like, what are you doing here? Like, you come in every morning, you come in the evening. And I was like, dude, I don't know what to do with my life. Like, I've had my life planned out since I was 12 years old, and I just got blown the fuck up. You know what I mean? And so he was like, well, do you want to be a trainer? And I was like, I don't know jack shit about shit. You know what I mean? And so I got my certification. He kind of went through that. And then like I had realized that I was training powerlifting style, even though I didn't know that I was. Like I was squatting, benching, deadlifting. Like that's what I love to do. And so then started competing, did my first meet the day after my 21st birthday, broke a bunch of state records, and I was like, oh, like I'm actually like kind of good at this. And so I just like dove into that. And then I think it was like year one. Here, one second. I'm gonna pull up powerlifting. That I got invited to the current US Open, which people that were around in that era when it was happening knew how big the current US Open was. Like that, even to get invited was like a huge accomplishment.
Just go.
And then yeah, so I did that. Here I'm trying to pull up my rankings because I don't really pay attention to them that much, to be honest. So I competed primarily in the 132 class. My best squat was 460, best bench was 280, best deadlift was 474. So that's 1201 total, which is a 605 dots.
Yeah, so that's
Pretty good.
yeah, it's exceptional. So, I guess at what point that was your like kind of top end. At what point did you decide that you wanted to shift gears
um,
in terms of competing and
so my injury from hockey like kind of caught up with me, and so like the last not this year, like not 2025, but like 2023, 24, like my spine just hurt.
yeah.
Like it hurt so bad. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like everything, I'm still PRing. We'll still do it. And then like I started like I was with Brian and I was like, I'm so tired of waking like I would wake up and I couldn't feel my feet. Like I couldn't even stand on them because they hurt so bad. And like it wasn't that like, hey, I wasn't doing recovery. Like it wasn't like everything was on point. And I was just like, Brian, like at the time I was like, I'm 27. I shouldn't feel like I'm fucking 50 and my spine is gonna break in half. And so like that was really hard for me to be like, hey, I'm not going to compete anymore because I'm an athlete. I've always played sports. In high school, I played 4 sports. In college, if they would have let me play more than ice hockey, I would have played more sports. And so Brian was actually like, well, why don't you start bodybuilding? And I was like, I don't know. You know what I mean? And so I started bodybuilding 9 months ago, and I strive off of structure. Like if my day is the same every fucking day, I love it. You know what I mean? Like I can eat the same thing. It doesn't bother me. Like I like knowing my routine. And so like I strived off of that, and everyone was like, "Oh, like is bodybuilding hard?" I was like, honestly, bodybuilding is probably one of the easiest things I've ever done in my life. Like, and so
I could do it.
Yes. So I'm just kind of curious. Actually, it's oddly enough, I'm not sure if you guys ever communicate with Ranson Lee. I just had him on the
oh yeah,
podcast.
yeah, I love I Brian doesn't know Ranson. I know Ranson. We communicate all the time. Yeah.
Anyway, so my this was my question to him, and this is like my bodybuilder powerlifter question. So I did a bodybuilding show myself in 2020. It was like a bucket list thing, being a big guy
Yeah.
in my life, and um, I've had some big squats on my back. I've had like 1,000 pounds in training. I've done 900 in competition. So like getting under like a big weight, right, and then like preparing for that type of like lift, right, versus now you're bodybuilding, like you have to pose and all the stuff. You got to get your tan right, but like a lot of the work is like kind of done when you
Yeah,
get.
show day is not hard. Like everyone
So
is like,
so
are
that's why
you
I was like, so what would you say? Like, I just want you to kind of walk me through both scenarios. So, like, you're getting under a PR squat, like, kind of take me through like what's going on in your brain and how are you like mentally preparing to do that lift?
so that was the biggest like so powerlifting, like where I was when I stopped, is like every single lift, like whether I was going in the gym and we were hitting reps or we were hitting singles, everything was a PR. You know what I mean? Like whether it was a rep PR or like a max out. So like powerlifting almost became exhausting because mentally I had to be on point every single training session. Where like bodybuilding, it's very different. Like you're depleted. You know what I mean? You're not gonna feel 100%. Like, but I knew, hey, as long as I got my meals in, my lifts are gonna go well. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, your strength is gonna go down in bodybuilding, but like mentally for bodybuilding, it's not. Like, powerlifting is a whole different game. You know what I mean? Like when you're going into the gym and you're like, okay, like my max bench is 281, but on the program I got 285. Like I got to make sure my shit is on point to be able to hit this. Where like bodybuilding, I have a stressful day, my lifts are still gonna go well. You know what I mean? So it was
Yeah, the expectation of like the workout, because obviously if you're taking the muscle fatigue,
yeah.
box is checked, right? But it's like, oh, if I don't hit like the numbers I was supposed to, then you feel like you kind of messed up or you're missing out or you're behind the eight ball.
Or
Yeah,
prep's gonna go bad in powerlifting, and then you're not gonna hit
or
your
like they're not going to
numbers.
peak
Yeah.
right. Or, yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, no, I think it's interesting. I think I know for me personally, so hopefully same will happen for you. I kind of was reinvigorated after my bodybuilding show, and I had like a string of like really good meets like after that. So I think sometimes one of the things I see, and I'm not sure your guys' opinion on it. I'd love to get both your opinions. In this like modern day of like powerlifting, so like when I got into the sport, it was very like West Side was very popular. We used a lot of variation in our training, um, but we also did like before that we were like I did the muscle magazines. I just did like 3 sets of 10 or did,
Yeah.
we did like a lot of general like training or like we were athletes, right? So we didn't just like do squat bench deadlift, squat bench deadlift, squat bench deadlift, and I think that like. Um, my like guess, so I don't know if you guys follow like baseball and stuff. So like in a lot of like youth sports, people are having like Tommy John surgeries. A lot of these injuries are happening earlier and earlier because they're specializing earlier.
Yeah.
You're seeing in like powerlifting, people are like breaking their arms because they're doing like low bar and the kid's really skinny and stuff like that. So I'm just kind of giving you some context, and obviously sometimes I'm like preaching to the choir on these episodes, but um I feel like people are like just they're so like specific with their
Yeah.
training all the time, and they never take a break. They never just do like I'm gonna do some machines, right? So what is your like take in terms of like because you've done both sports now, in terms of maybe some mistakes that young lifters make that maybe you see in your gym or things you try to like steer people in the right direction to kind of help them like stay healthy and continue to make progress.
Well, for me, like, because when I started powerlifting, I coached myself. And so, like, my training now for powerlifting and bodybuilding is very, very similar. So I always did, okay, I always like in powerlifting, I always kept my powerlifting movements completely separate than like my accessories. You know what I mean? So like I would do whatever I program myself. So say I was doing a set of 5 at 85%. Okay. Whatever I did for the main compound movements had nothing to do with accessories. So like I always train my accessories high volume, high intensity, because what I believe in and what I think is true is like you are only as strong as your SBD. Like you are not going to grow the rest of your legs just squatting. You know
Right.
what I mean? And so whatever muscles I couldn't grow with my SBDs, that's when my accessories came in. And with bodybuilding, like most people don't know, like I still squat, bench, and deadlift because that's what got me so dense. You know what I mean? So I still have those main compound movements in, but the percentages are way lighter. But still, my accessories are still high volume, high intensity.
Do you choose like to do like I guess the same like do you like I guess whether it's a do you just the same like stance and like that you or do you like kind of switch it up a little bit if you're trying to like if you
No, so I still do like my comp movements just because like I know like everyone's like, "Oh, you retired." I'm like, "I didn't fucking retire. Like I'm gonna do it again." You know what I mean? Like
it's not you don't have a meet planned right now, but it doesn't mean
no,
that
but we're still trying to build. Like
yeah.
my main thing is I didn't want to get back on the platform until I know I can bench 300 pounds. Like that's just my goal. And so obviously the compound movements are going to be prescribed for that, but also the accessories are going to be stationed around that too. Where now looking like some of the things that I've learned now, I think I could have hit 300 pounds if I still did it. I just like I bench with a very big arch,
Mhm.
which is fine. I'm a female, but I think there is if I maybe would have lowered my arch a little bit and had more of my back on the bench pad instead of benching off of my traps, I think I could have been a lot closer to the 300 mark than what I was, if that makes sense. So I think like stepping away from powerlifting, I've been able to critique my form on certain things where like I never changed my form from day one to the day that I retired because I'm like, it worked for me. I'm continuing to PR, but it doesn't mean it's the most optimal form, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah,
there's going to be a cap
sure.
because what started happening is I started having shoulder issues. My lower spine started hurting. And that's just the constant like of the way that I was benching, where it's like, okay, if I took that away, we didn't put as much pressure when my arch is like freaking this, and maybe we do a little flatter, then that's going to be less strain on the shoulders, less strain on the lower back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so one example I use, like, and you can correct me if I'm making sure I'm interpreting this right. So just an example I like to use sometimes. Sometimes you see with a lot of super heavyweight lifters, um, maybe they dive bomb their squats when they're really young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their joints start to wear out, right? So now
Yeah.
they can't use that technique anymore because now like their knees are shot or whatever. So like a technique might work for you for like a certain period of time, but then like an injury happens or you get
Yeah.
older or your body changes. So sometimes you're better off like maybe like when that lifter gets older, like the dive bomb squat, or maybe they have to slow down their squat a little bit, or maybe they have to be a little bit more controlled in their descent. Maybe they change their stance a little bit. So, anyways, that's what I was thinking. I think the other thing I want to for the listeners, I think some exercises are gonna like be good for like expressing your strength, right? So the big arch bench, the sumo deadlift, right? But then other exercises, like the isolation work, that's gonna like kind of build up the specific weak areas in the muscles. So like there's gonna be certain things that you really can't like isolate, right? If that's the weak link, well, why not target it and why not just like attack it, head on? Because I think a lot of kids um, they
Yeah.
just like they won't even use any machines like in their training like at all. It's like if
We
it's
see it in our gym now.
I see people all the time now and
Like we
doing
have
that.
over 90 pieces of hand-picked equipment. Like, you know what I mean?
To
Like
get you
literally
stronger.
specifically like because like I have the ice hockey background, I have the powerlifting background. So like when we upgraded the gym, like Brian and I hand-picked pieces where we're like, okay, like if this person is trying to accomplish this, they're going to use this machine.
Or their age and where they're at in their age. We try to surround the gym for any walks of life.
Where everyone just goes powerlifting, they do their SBD, and then they leave. And I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah, I see it all the time, man. And I think that's the biggest thing. I ain't no damn big name in the industry. I'm just a damn gym owner at the end of the day that does well. From where we came from 50 to now over 1,000 members. I do it to compete for myself. I've seen it. I enjoy it. I'm a bench only dude. Knees are shot from wrestling. Literally no meniscus in there. It hurts all the time. Why do it? But you got to remember too, I'm just getting on the scene now. Like I was still powerlifting when I was working offshore, but remember I had 2 weeks off and 2 weeks on the boat. How did that work out for me? I had to come in and like kill myself for 2 weeks and then do high volume on the boat, pull-ups, different things that I made up to keep my strength where it needed to be. Now at 46, I'm finally able to do a program for almost a year now. And then look at Jesus Christ, my bench is going up, and like I'm like, holy shit, you know, this is 800 plus 900. It's looking like right where it needs to be, because right now I have time under the bar. I'm actually, the biggest thing for me is accessories. These kids, especially with your benching in a shirt or multiply, if you're not building your back up, especially your lower lats, you are.
Yeah. So what are some of like the pieces in your gym that you like that you feel like has like a good carryover to, you know, your training personally? Like any type of machines, any specific movements? I mean, you mentioned like the like lat work. So what kind of like lat work do you like to do?
Okay, so this is the one I just got. Like literally just got this one. I just trained at Elite FTS on Saturday. The guy, I forgot his name, OG from West Side. He's handed me off. We're going, and he said
Matt Smith.
Matt Smith.
Oh yeah, Matt Smith. Okay.
Yeah, guy, great guy, man. He handed me off. We were talking. He said I needed to build my back up, and he said, especially your lower back. So he's like, this is what you need to add into it. And I did it. I'm doing it now. And I could feel like, holy shit, if this gets strong, this bench is going to go out of this world. So basically you have your slingshot on. You take the bar out, 55-pound bar. You set up a normal bench. When you get here, you know, you're pulling that slingshot down. Here it gets stuck. Then you learn how to pull your lats in to bring the weight down. Get what I mean?
Yeah, so essentially, like for those that are maybe are listening, if you are wearing like a slingshot device, um, you know, you are actively trying to stretch the material,
stretch it, and pull the bar in.
You're using your upper back, you're using your rear delts. So, and especially if you've ever put on one of these band shirts, the shirt is like actively trying to pull your arms like together.
You're fighting every direction.
So if you don't have the strength to like keep that spread, it's not a fun.
You will not touch. I mean,
I think that people think you just put this thing on and you know it just lifts the weight for you. But yeah, no, I found the rear delts, the shoulders, the back, and that's also because like I'm not like super strong. Like my shoulders are pretty shot also. But I could hit like a decent. I'm pretty decent with the shirt, and I think my back is like strong, and and my triceps are decent. So, so what is so outside of like the back work that you do, what are you training like so I know like Jimmy Kolb would do like maybe a shirt a day and then like maybe like a bench aid or a slinger, or like do you do work or?
So right now, my coach is Burley Hawk from West Side.
Okay.
He basically I added in a day. I added strictly a back day in to clearly hypertrophy work to build the back, build the size, build the width. So it's a good foundation. So when I'm getting 800, maybe 900 pounds, my back is solid. Yeah. So I added that day in. So I added a back day in. I have I have 2 leg days, a dynamic and a kind of a max effort, but not really. But on my bench days, I have max effort day with all my accessories, which is a lot. And then on my dynamic day is my speed right now on bands. He changes it up all the time. And it's like 9x3. And then he has a shit ton of accessories.
Your shirt every week?
No, every week. Well, right now we're kind of like, I haven't picked out a meet. My last meet, I just hit 770 in it. Nice. And that was a good one. It was a good number there for where I want to be, because next one I want to hit over 8. So I haven't had a date picked out for that meet. So right now we're just kind of getting the work in, putting the work in, and actually, man, what if I put out a good size? Like, what if I actually work these weaknesses? Give me a couple months, like 6 months, to really, and then like go in and find something that I want to. I'm like, holy shit, man, this is going to be insane.
So are you in your shirt like every other week?
Oh, so I'm in my shirt. Usually, it's like 2 to 3 weeks in a row, and he deloads me.
So you touch from your chest, or you hit?
It all varies. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a lot of So there's a lot.
I always tell everybody like that's new into the band shirt or anything like that. Bird work works, but when you take those boards away, you got to be very comfortable in who you are. And so I like to take it as often as you can to the chest, because that's that right there. When you don't have that board ain't there.
Or at least I don't know. Sometimes think. Anyways, what I'll recommend to people if they do like their board work is maybe you get a couple of things like that are either full range or close to full range. I know, like I don't know if you guys ever met Joey Smith, but like Joey Smith would always talk about, like, he would do a lot of reverse band work.
Yeah,
full range. So basically, you're still kind of getting the tricep overload and everything, but like that really helped his consistency, that he would touch more often. So, but he would use a lot. He would just use varying, assistance from the bands. For people that are that are unfamiliar with gear, because I do like to kind of share this. What does it feel like when you're holding that kind of weight in your hands? Like, what is like that feel like, and what's kind of going?
Yeah. Well, when you first get into it, number one, it's a mind play with you, because you can't. It all depends on the shirt that you use. You use a 1-ply shirt, 2-ply shirt, or 3-ply. I use a 3-ply, so it's a thicker shirt. It's going to take quite a bit of money, more weight to go down. So 700 is definitely touching.
The shirts are expensive too.
They are. So for me, it's, and a new lifter. How's it feel? Feels like your hands are on fire. Feels like you're like, who thinks that you're going to hold 600 pounds right in front of your face? It messes with your head a little bit. What does it feel like? My first time I felt it, I felt like my arms were going to collapse in like a cup. But then as I consistently done it over time, my ligaments, tendons started to get stronger and get stronger. My hands don't feel. The only problem I'm having now, bro, is that my hands are completely numb all the time.
Yeah. So Haley, let me ask you. So when you started adding knee wraps into your routine, did you?
I started at wraps, so I actually.
So maybe it's not like. I was going to try to make that comparison, but anyways, I think that because raw with wraps is kind of like this in between, not quite equipped, but some people still think it's equipped, but I think sometimes people think, oh, I'm just going to put the wraps and I'm going to squat 100 pounds more, right? But then it's a skill, and your nervous system and your body needs to adapt to it. So what I try to explain to people with the bench shirt, because people break their arms. People, if you need to let your body acclimate to just because, and you kind of mentioned, if the more plies that you have, the more kind of element of danger and precision that you need, it's so important. So, and I think that's where. So, do you have regular people that are training partners? Do you guys have a bench crew, or how does?
There's 5 or 6 geared guys in our gym that they all train together.
Yeah, I train with the guys.
So walk me through what that dynamic is like, because I think, again, a lot of people most people don't train with people. Most people don't know how to work as a team. So when you guys are all doing a session together, just kind of walk us through what that's like.
Yeah. So when we do bench days on Wednesdays, pretty much, we all kind of on somewhat the same schedule. We all max effort on Wednesday. every one of those guys that I have really Paul and Pat are the two dudes that are always with me, and they set the shirt. They just know how to set my shirt right. And they just know that we just know each other so well. I know if a lift, when he's bringing out that bar at a day when Paul, I can see if that lift is going to go bad instantly because I've been training with him.
Yeah, them two are the longest standing members of the gym. You know what I mean? So like they've been with Brian for the last 10 plus years.
Correct. So our dynamic is, I personally, that's the thing that's missing in powerlifting, because you hold accountability with your crew. If you're fucking up or you're doing something wrong, that's a way that you can get corrected. And we correct ourselves. You know what I mean? We're always bringing something to the table that's always going to make you better. And the intensity is great too.
Oh, it's so intense. Like I don't train with them, but like if they're training on Wednesdays, Brian has the iPad to the gym. It is literally like 1,000 volume, 1,000. You can hear you can hear the music from your car outside.
Yeah.
Like, and all the members know, like, hey, don't fuck with them. Like they're gonna look angry. They're gonna be screaming. But like members also love it though too. You know what I mean?
It's great, man.
So I've been starting to like I'm not. Anyways, the next I want to kind of get into the meet and in October, and so I signed up for your guys' competition, and I'm excited for it. And I know it's like, because it's January, and I'm like, I'm like training like a maniac, and I'm I'm ready to like chill out, but that's, I mean, dude, it's like that's why we do this, right? It's like I'm like,
but here's the other thing that's cool. Here's the other thing that nobody fucking sees. If I come out and say you're at the meet, I can help you do anything too. It's like I've met so many gear people that help me, and then I can. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's cool. It's like, it's definitely a different, like, because they know the fucked up shit that you're going through. So like, no, serious. So it's just like, and I think also too, it's kind of like, I don't know if I kind of feel like that with wrestlers too. You kind of like,
you just get it.
See like a little cauliflower ear, and you're like, I see you, man. I see,
I see you. Yeah,
it's cool. Like you have that like connection, and I think there is something to be said about like people that, like you said, I have some people too that have been with our gym for 10 years as well. That's like a really rare thing for people to be.
Right.
Most people can't even commit to like their New Year's resolution for the first 3 weeks. Right? So imagine that you have the same training partners. I mean, it's a really cool thing that people like. It is. Yes, it is a hobby, but like this like means a lot to like a lot of people. So that's why I wanted to kind of get, because I wanted to. One of the reasons why I signed up for your
go ahead.
Shack was I wanted to support what you guys are doing, because I do believe that you guys are like, we have a similar message. You're trying to spread like good positive culture. So like, tell me about like what is like your goal for this meet, and why is it different? And tell us about
she'll explain a little bit better.
But
I'll start it off. It's not fun anymore in these meets. It is, can't do that, can't do this, can't do that,
can't say this,
can't say this, can't smell this. And I'm like, put a fucking gun in my head and shoot me now. I mean, I just posted and I tagged a bunch of people of the WPO back when, goddamn,
like the peak of the WPO.
Yeah, man. I was watching that shit like this, ready to fucking chaw through. It was fun. It was fun. It was intense. I never see that anymore. I want to bring back the community to it. I want to bring it back fun, and screw everything else. I just want people to have fun at our meets. Loud music, intensity, people PRing, because that's what's going to make you come back. That's what you want to do. And you have people that understand it now. Like, I don't know very few meet directors. The SPF crew that we're with they're very well known.
The new owners.
Yeah, the new owners. But like, I just want to bring a little bit back to the multiply and the single ply back to the I think it's they're going to eventually have to get into it anyways, guy. You know what I mean?
I see it. It's like people, get kind of banged up, and you kind of like you got to figure out like a way to hold yourself together. And
Man, I'm telling you what, when I do raw work, like for like, well, what's your raw work, Brian? On if you're benching over 800, what's your raw? Fuck, barely 400. My body feels like it's cracking in half. But
well,
when I get a shirt on, it's like, let me get on my bike and just go for a stroll. You know what I mean?
so I guess it sounds like you kind of you've been hell you've been to some of these top level meets. There's been,
Yeah,
there's been some like maybe so I'm sure there's some positives that you've seen, but also maybe some things that you feel like have been like lacking, or maybe like because you have the athlete's point of view where you've kind of
yeah,
seen. So I know like I can just say for myself, and I'm not sure. I've kind of seen like there's some like meets that it's just like there it's like we're like really like tough and like we're gonna like red light everyone, and it's just kind of
Yeah, that bullshit,
and
man.
that's
I
kind of
don't and I don't understand like I just like just judge like fairly, right?
yeah.
But then like people
God,
it's just a very weird like I don't know like it's like to me like when I'm like I'm good with two white lights and like that's fine like
yeah,
but I just that was kind of like I never like if a baseball player uh whatever there if a pitcher throws a ball or whatever like they're not like oh can we like I'm not I'm gonna contest this or like this is
right.
whatever the umpire calls and like you're not
What
like
it is.
it just but in powerlifting you have to like if the internet thinks otherwise then you have to I don't know you have to give your lift back or anyways I'm kind of
Stupid
this
shit.
these are things that are on my mind but you've
Yeah.
done some high level meets so what are some things that you're trying to maybe improve upon that you've kind of
Yeah.
seen over the
So
years.
I've competed the Kern, the Ghost multiple years. Frick, what was JP's price?
Showdown.
The Showdown, yeah. And so the one thing, and like this is what I noticed is like, okay, I like they only cater to the top 1%, but the top 1% is not what's filling the meats. You know what I mean? And so for me, like, okay, you can put on one fantastic fucking meet and never do it again. But like, how do you consistently for 10 years put on a meet and make sure it fills up? And so I think like for me, like my little slogan is like a meet for the lifters, ran by the lifters. You know
Yep.
what I mean? Like every meet has had its positives, the Ghost Clash, the Kern, like everyone. Like I've all had good experiences, but like when I was competing, like it was also at a time where like I was competing for the top money. You know what I mean? But I've also like looked and was like, okay, well, what about all these other lifters that are just doing it because you know what I mean? And like I listen to their complaints. Like I listen, like I see it on Instagram, like after the meets are done, like, hey, what is the average lifter? Like, and most of their complaints don't fucking mean shit. Like, hey man, I want a bigger bathroom. Okay, well, tough shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like most of them aren't realistic, but like I'm trying to say this without throwing shade.
Yeah, so maybe just frame it in a positive way. So, like, what are things that you're maybe just think about? Like, what are the things that you're doing that?
Like yeah, for
Focus
like the
on us.
Shack,
Yeah.
yeah. So for example, like the Shack Showdown, like the one thing that we often hear is like the music choice at meets. You know what I mean? Like you get a really hyped song and then you get like this depressing song. So Brian and I literally spent probably 3 months creating a playlist like where we literally went through every single freaking song and we both voted out. You know what I mean? Like
And also, too, man, I feel the crowd and the vibe and how things are going. If I'm seeing you in the warm up room and I pay attention to the whole scene, you can dictate how that's going to be.
and then
And I usually crank something like really hardcore, and usually sometimes it's all depends too. Women like some weird stuff,
and
so I
then
can get what I'm saying.
like another thing is like we go all out on our medals. Like we do custom medals because like I've gone to meets where hey, they only give medals like for example, the Kern one year. I don't mind throwing shade because they're all gone out of the picture. The current 1 year, like only the top payouts got medals. So even if you won first class in your weight class, you didn't get a fucking medal. Well, you just paid $200 and traveled to Cali. Like what happens when you go in 20 years? Like how are you going to remember that? You know what I mean? Or like
Yes.
you know what I mean? Like
So let me throw a couple of things, and then I'll just not to say like so. I'll just kind of throw out a couple of positives too. So just like for example, I think what we're kind of getting at is what's the athlete experience, right?
yes, we're trying to really
What is the average athlete experience? Not the John Hacks, not the
yeah.
because it's great. It's like okay, it's prize money for like okay, great. It's like and so that kind of also kind of takes the fun out of it. So even like using myself as an example, we're not probably winning any prize money, whatever, but like I'm having this like friendly, like, friend showdown with Greeno, and it's like,
Yeah, man.
it doesn't mean anything, but it's like just something fun. We're getting excited about it. We're kind of talking a little shit, whatever. That's going to make it a lot more fun, right? We're not just kind of, so I think like having like that is cool when you could do it with your buddies and kind of having a platform for that. But some of my own experiences, like coaching others and stuff like that. So for example, with Dan Green, and they would always have like a banquet, with like, and that was like a really memorable thing where like, we got to like, I remember one year like he had like there was like 10 guys that like totaled 2,000, and so he like, even though they may not have took first place, whatever, he took the time to make this it's just stuff like that where like they highlighted even if they didn't win or whatever, they weren't the best lifter, if Yuri Belkin showed up, that was Yuri Belkin. Yuri Belkin showed up, it was kind of like, okay, everyone's kind of fighting for second, right?
Yeah.
So, I think that was really cool. And then, my mentor was another West Side guy, Jesse Burdick. I don't know if you ever did the Record Breakers was another.
I was gonna do it, and then the year that I was gonna do it, he didn't fucking do it anymore. And I was like,
oh. I know. I wish Jesse, if you listen to this, you gotta bring him back. But, Jesse was one of the first people. So he would just do things like it was never like he would have like okay, like there's electrolytes for everyone. There's
yes.
There's just like simple shit. It doesn't take it just the thought, right? I remember and I know this is a more commonplace now, but he was one of the first people like, we have IV people, we have like everything. It's just if you needed something, it was there. And I think that where there wasn't fireworks, there wasn't, and again, that's fine. It's great if that's what you want, but I think like why not spend that money on something that the athletes it's gonna and it's cool for like the video or whatever, but I don't know. Like I mean, and again, I think that stuff is fine, but if it really kind of eats into money that could be spent that's really gonna like enhance their performance or whatever else, I don't know. I think that money could be spent better
Here's
place.
my thing. You ready for my little bit of like information where I think pro meets are gonna go?
Sure.
We've donated a shit ton of money.
So in the last, I will
tell you this here.
say this because I run our books, but like, so including our March meet that's coming up, we've donated over $105,000 in the last 2 years.
Okay,
but like,
let me tell them.
There's the appreciation is zero. You know what I mean? Where like the lifters who have won stuff, like it's not even like, hey, thanks, guys. You know what I mean? And like for us, it's like, okay, well, $105,000, I know what that could have done like for our business or like personal. You know what I mean? And so
I don't see the future going to be that for the pro money and the money meets that are happening. I'm going to tell you now, anybody that has 2 cents, especially like us, we pulled all our funding.
Like because we're catering more to the average lifter. You know what I mean?
Like, on the pro level, what's a pro meet that's out there? Oh man, how are you gonna get sponsors anymore? I like honestly, honest to God, I'm asking you the question because you come to me. Where's my return of value?
Well, I think that's the big because I see I don't think there really is right.
There's none.
Right
and you don't expect a whole return. Like, hey, if you're donating 20 grand, you're obviously not going to expect 20 grand in return. You know what I mean? But you would expect at least, hey, 1%. You know what I mean?
Something, and it's just not. I don't think here with the way the economy is, the way my heart beats great with my memberships and the way fitness is. pretty soon, these guys that do all these money meets and stuff, where are you going to get it?
And that's why
where's the money going to come from? It ain't coming from me anymore. All these guys that are the big level sponsors that are out there are giving you gift cards.
I mean, look at the Kern, for example. Like they did their top one of $50,000, and then it never happened again. You know what I mean?
It's not sustainable.
I think to your point, it kind of goes back to like, well, what's like the long term play?
Yeah.
And if it's not like feasible, then well, maybe you start at a if that's the goal, like you start much smaller, and then because if you like start at 50,000 or whatever, it's like then how do you
where do you go from there? 100,
So yeah, and then it even if it's great, it kind of just feels like But yeah, so I kind of go back and forth with like the pro powerlifting thing, but I do think that to your point, I think that if the athlete experience is good, and I think like from my standpoint, just treat the lifter as well, because I think sometimes one of the things that I've kind of seen that I've like kind of a negative, and this is again not everyone, but my general sentiment is that a lot of these certain federations, certain meets, like the judges, man, it's like it's almost like their
hands on the red.
Their light stays on the red.
Yep.
And they want to like they want to almost see the lifter fail, or they want to like, oh, I know all these rules, or so just I don't know if she's here or not. Our daughter competed at a meet, and she like kind of opened up her fingers like slightly, and like, red lighted her on this is for a squat.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm getting
at. But again, so I'm like fine with, but it was like how, because like I asked, I didn't see it. It was like her finger like kind of flickered, but like I don't know, like right after this, like I had to like watch the video but and also I've been doing this for 20 years, and like so if I don't like know like what the call is, but the ref was like giving us an attitude, and I was more upset about, it wasn't about that she got a red light. It was just not like, okay, like I just just I
find that I agree with you.
Let us know, like, I mean, it was just like kind of how it was like kind of handled.
Yeah.
I see
that's kind of where I don't think that's not like a way to grow the sport.
Yeah, that leaves a negative experience, especially I assume your daughter is probably still in high school. You know what I mean? Like she's not going to understand it the way that maybe you and I are going to understand it. You know what I mean?
Anyway, she ended up having a great day and all that stuff, but it's just one of those things that just left it. That was like, it was like the first lift of like the day. And like, I was just like, okay, like, anyways, I could talk to you guys for hours and hours. I do want to kind of wrap it up, and then we can maybe have a short chat like after the recording. Tell us about the meet, like where, obviously I know it's on Lifting Cast. It's when's the meet, and if you have any other kind of events coming up. This will probably come out because I'm like in probably March sometime, just FYI, because I know you. But what's kind of, and where can people find you if they want to?
So the Shack Showdown is October 24th and 25th at Seth's Gym. So location's still the same. A few things that we're doing for that is I have companies, geared companies that are donating products. So what I'm going to do is athlete raffle. So when the athletes come and check in and they weigh in, they'll get raffle tickets, and then they can put it in whatever raffle they want. And so like why I did that was normally the same person wins the meet. You know what I mean? So this is like a way to be able to have like other lifters that normally don't win, be able to like win products or win stuff. And then our next meet after Shack Showdown is going to be SPF Worlds, which is November 21st and 22nd. That's in Crestview. The meet before the Shack Showdown is the Bar Showdown, March 14th and 15th.
And when's the SPF Worlds? Say it one more time.
November 21st and 22nd, the weekend before Thanksgiving.
All right, so maybe if the wifey wants to, she's
man, that's would be a perfect time because the weather's perfect down here, man.
It is great vacation.
It has a nice.
One of my like online clients lives. Oh my god, she lives in Florida. So, anyways, and then any other kind of social channels they should follow, or like with the.
Oh yeah, if you guys want to follow us, our Instagram is the Bar Strength Fitness. Super easy. All of our stuff is on there. You can find Brian and I on there.
On the link tree, I think, whatever it is.
I appreciate you guys coming on, and I appreciate it's always refreshing to hear good takes, and that you guys are about powerlifting culture, and
man.
I think a lot of people throw around, oh yeah, we're about community, but like not everyone really lives it. So that's why I kind of, want to support the meet. And, like I said, I'm going to try my best to
I think when you see us,
so,
yeah, when you see us do it, guys, and you start to see our meets, you're going to see what we're for. Because Jesus, I want lifters to have a good time. I'm tired, like you said, of these guys ready to throw the reds when realistically, if you don't know what it is, throw the white. Like
I have pulled judges from their
Yes.
chairs because I'm like, why are you red lighting them? And they're like, well, this. I'm like, that's not even a fucking rule.
Yeah.
And people are like, you pull judges? I'm like, yeah, because it's my name behind this meet. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not like no one's going to make a post and be like, Judge so-and-so did this. It's going to be like, at this meet ran by Haley, this is what happened. You know what I mean?
It's a fair point. So, but we'll have to do a part 2. We'll definitely, but appreciate it. Definitely check out all the social channels. If you guys enjoyed the podcast, please give it a 5-star review. Thank you guys so much for listening. Until next time, stay strong, and we'll see you soon.
See ya.